Good morning, the students of class 6. Welcome to our e-learning class. And today in our social science history class, I am going to discuss another subunit from your history chapter 3. And the name of the chapter is In the Earliest Cities. And today I am going to discuss the subunit houses, drains and streets, as well as the life in the city. So let's begin the subunit. That the houses on the Harappan civilization, they had 1 or 2 stories building, okay, and the rooms built around the courtyard. If I draw the picture, so this is a house, and in the middle there is a courtyard, and houses and the rooms were built around the courtyard. This is the courtyard, and the windows are in the side of the courtyard to prevent the dust and dirt from the roads. And this is the main entrance, and in this way the main entrance as well as the rooms were constructed around the courtyard. Number 3, that each of these house had separate bathing area. Each of these house had separate bathing area, and it is not inside their house. Like today in most of the houses we have bathroom or washroom, and it is adjoined with the living room sometimes, but at that time it is the history. I told you already, social science history written on the board also. Okay, so if you have book, you can open page number 34 and follow. Now, as well as the wells also dug at the time for water supply. They also dug wells for water supply inside their courtyard. So these are the main features of the houses, that 1 or 2 story building, rooms built around the courtyard, had separate bathing area, and also wells for water supply. Now I am going to discuss about the drains. Okay. Page number 34 and 35, Vinay. Now the drains. Now the drains are constructed in a very well mannered and very planned way, and many of the cities, they had covered drains and with a steep slope, and with a gentle, not steep slope, it is a gentle slope, such as it is in this way, the gentle slope. So water flows in the downward. So the cities had covered drains. Covered drains, number 2, and they were constructed in a 90-degree angle with the main street as well as the small drains, with the small drains. Built with 90-degree angle and with a gentle slope. The gentle slope. Number 3, what are the another features, that houses, the house drains were connected to the street drains, and street drains were connected to the high drain or main drain, just situated beside the road or under the road, such as this is the high road, and high drains were constructed below the under the road and covered with the limestone slabs, and the depth of the main drains is average 1.5 meter, and from that main drain the street drains also connected, and the house drains also connected from the street drains. Okay. So these are the houses. So in this way, okay, and each of these in a 90-degree angle. If you look at carefully, that all are created 90-degree angle everywhere. So they constructed very well planned, in very planned manner. Sir, comments? First comments. First one, chapter 4, page number, okay. Next. Page number 34, okay. Question, answer 34. Chapter number 4, okay. Krishna, Krishna, okay. You have old book, okay. Try to collect a new book. Otherwise, you can download it from internet. In the new NCERT book, it is in the chapter number 3. That's why I have mentioned it is chapter number 3. But the old book, it is in chapter number 4. Don't be confused. Okay. It is not question answer. I am just discussing and give you the important features of the Harappan cities and the important features of houses, drains and streets. Okay, students, mute your microphone because I think some students got bad noises. Okay. Now another feature are that drains found under the streets and beside the streets with cover. I have already mentioned these are covered with limestone blocks. Like today in our locality also, the big drains and also covered with some cover with slabs, cement slab. But at that time cement was not found, so that's why they covered with limestone slab. And in big cities you may see that this type of lead with big drains. In your city also it was present, and at that time also these exposures were built, these holes were built to provide cleaning, okay, to provide it, to clean them time to time. So that's why they made also at that time in this way the manholes, and the manholes also covered with limestone blocks. And house drains and streets were made at the same line with planning. The streets, and this is the streets, the small streets in the both side, okay. And drains, they also constructed in a rectangular shape and with a planning. So drains also there beside the street in this way. This is the drains. This is the drains with the street, along with the street drains, and also in this way the drains also done beside two sides. So how did they plan so well? We are so much surprised to imagine that, and each are in 90-degree angle. So streets and drains were dug and built with the same time, with same planning. So these are the main features of the Harappan drains, the drainage system, and each of these drains had a gentle slope to flow the water, and also there are some soak pits in regular intervals to prevent any deposition, okay, because when the drains were full with the soil and other garbages, so water, it is very difficult to flow for the flow of water. So that's why they make soak pits, and soak pits block the garbages in regular intervals. So the water could be flow easily. So these are the drainage system. Now I am going to discuss the streets. So I have already discussed the streets. Okay. Now, life in the city. Next subunit, it is life in the city. So if you have any question regarding this subunit, you can ask me. Okay. Okay, no problem. Now next subunit, it is life in the city. Now what are the important features of the life in the city? That in the city, it was assumed that the city was planned and instructed to build such a way by some ruling class, and these ruling class are mostly influential persons from their society, and they are rich, and mostly they assume that they lived on the upper town or citadel cities, and the common people, they lived on the lower town. So these people sent their men very far, very distinct places to collect precious stones, metals and other things, as well as they sent the people to collect raw material. Subunit means subtopic, okay. The main topic is in the earlier cities, and the subunit is life in the city. So each of the points written on your book in blue color, it is the subunits. So if you divide it and read, then it is easy to remember. Now, these precious stones and metals collected from very distinct lands, such as gold, silver, copper, and gold and silver, these type of precious metals were preserved by the rich people, and the rest of the thing like copper and tin, they mixed the copper with tin and made bronze, and bronze is very solid metal, and they use the bronze to make weapons, the artifacts, as well as the ornaments and utensils. And in previous chapter, chapter number 2, when I have described the age division of history, such as the Stone Age, Iron Age, Copper Age. So at the time, you know that I have mentioned that the Harappan civilization is the Copper Age civilization. Okay, and iron was not discovered at that time because the archaeologists yet not found any iron artifact. So first the copper was invented by the earliest people, then iron at last. So this is the Copper Age civilization, the Harappan civilization. So there were scribes also. There are another type of people. So how many types of people? Number one, the ruling class, the rich people. Rich people or ruling class. Rich people or rulers. Okay. Rich people or rulers. Number two, the scribes. And number three, the craftspersons. Okay. Now what are the work of scribes? The scribes are the people who wrote on the seals and some other materials which have not survived, and these scribes know the scripts, how to write the Harappan scripts. And such as there is a seal in page number 35 that look at the seal, and there are some letter in the seal like English U letter. Okay, this type of, it is not like that, like Q. If you observe it carefully, so this type of letters were written, some like that, and some also. Okay. Now, this, but what happened that today we don't know that what was written at the time, because the scholars yet not deciphered these scripts, and the signs on the top of the seal are part of the script, and these are the earliest form of writing known in the subcontinent. This is the Harappan script, is the earliest form of writing ever found in the Indian subcontinent. 4,700 years ago it was invented, and still scholars have tried to read these signs, but they cannot, and they do not know exactly what they mean. So they try continuously, and previous year just with a scientist, a computer engineer tried to decipher this with the help of computer algorithm, but it was not completely successful, but the process yet thus started. I hope in future when we decipher those scripts, we know the entire story of the Harappan civilizations, because we just guessing, the archaeologists found the artifacts and they just guessing that which one is that these things used in this way. But if this will deciphered, or they know what is written on the scripts, then we will know the entire history of the Harappan civilizations. So besides, there are some men and women, they are called craftsperson. And what are the work of craftsperson? They made beautiful artifacts, the toys, the tools, the ornaments, etc. And they were made either homes or workshops, special workshops. And people also traveling long distances for raw materials, such as they collected the copper from Rajasthan, because archaeologists assume that Rajasthan is a rich sources of copper, we know today also. So it is very close from the Harappan cities, and the evidence is also found in Rajasthan near the copper pits, as well as they collected tin, other metals from the Arabian Peninsula region, and they brought these raw materials to prepare different things in their workshops. And many terracotta toys also discovered in this area, and such as terracotta toys, bullock cart model, the model of the animals, and these have been found. So you can see this in page number 35, and must have played by the children. The archaeologists, they thought these must have played by the children. So these are the life in the city. Okay. So if you have any question from this subunit, you can ask me. Okay, thank you Tonuji, Vinayak. So next class we are going to discuss the new crafts in the city and what is fence. So that's all from today's class. See you in the next class. Thank you for watching.